Hello. Hello, everyone. I'm sorry for the delay. I meant to start earlier, but then a bunch of things happened, and well, sorry for the delay. And sorry if Monkey's gonna be a little bit distracted for a little bit, but I am here. Here I am. How are all of you doing today? Hi, Tianshi, how are you? Hello, Hiki. Hello. I'm doing alright. Bit tired, bit sleepy, but pretty good. How about you? Hi, hello, Mongoose. Hello. No. Hello, Shatter. Welcome back. Hello, Hemoglobin. Hello, now, how are you, little sister? Hello, Dajangka, I guess now. Welcome. Good to see you. Doing well. Oh boy, this is one. Oops. Excuse me. Bit tiring day today for Monkey. Monkey have a cold? Sounded a little stuffy. Monkey is perhaps a little bit under the weather today. I was thinking about canceling stream, but I didn't want to do that again. After having cancelled on y'all all of last week already, I figured I could at least do a short stream today, you know? It won't be a very long one, and we did start late, so I apologize for that, but Monkey's alright otherwise. I went for a walk at the beach. Oh! And heck, is it long? Oh! Goes through the entire island/city. So I gave up and went to groceries. Now I'm resting. That sounds like a good time, in a way, Ihiki. See how long you can walk along the beach, and then give up and get groceries. And rest. Rest sounds good. Is it a nice day where you are, Hiki? Excuse me. It must be getting warmer, huh? I had some coffee and pão de queijo cheese bread. Oh, pão de queijo is one of Monkey's favorites. One of the few recipes that Monkey is pretty decent at, actually. It's not too hard, actually, if you make them at home by yourself. I know it's easy to get the frozen kind, too. That's just so simple. But making it at home is not bad. If you have, I will say you need a food processor and a stand mixer. Then it's not so bad. When Monkey first started trying to make pão de queijo, I didn't have either of these things, so I grated all of the cheese by hand and then mixed it by hand. Took forever. It was very tiring. Luckily, I had some family to help me. But it was very tiring. We took turns. Gotta need it. But I don't have a food processor now, but we got a stand mixer eventually, and that made it go from, like, taking a very long time and a lot of energy to feeling almost trivial by comparison, so... I see why these modern luxuries exist. Got a hot drink? The weather requires it. That's nice. What are you drinking, Hemoglobin? Monkey also has a hot drink today. Since Monkey's feeling under the weather, I wanted something kind of comforting without any caffeine and without any sugar, so I went for my comforting chamomile. I drink it fairly often, but it still has that sense of comfort to me, because as a baby monkey, when it was late at night and it was dark, but Monkey wasn't asleep yet, sometimes I'd go down and I'd have a moment with my parents, just drinking some chamomile tea. It was nice. We're doing alright, playing large amounts of Splatoon 3. Oh. Ah, that's nice. I hope you're feeling better. We missed Mix Monkey. I'm doing alright. Thank you for asking, Saturn. It's been, how shall we say? It's been, draining, I guess, recently. But not bad, just tired. Had you started earlier, I would be listening to you while working. Ryder, hello, welcome. Sounds hype. This is a very cute sleepy monkey though, goodness. I don't know what you're talking about, Ryder. But welcome. Same fatigue hitting me harder right now. Ah, I see. I wonder if, for those of us in the northern hemisphere right now, the changing of the seasons is a part of it. Getting darker and colder. Must be nice in the south though, where it's starting to warm up. If you need to rest, you don't need to force yourself. But still, I appreciate the feeling of coming. Oh, thank you, Ehiki. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I figured this would be a decent compromise. That I won't stream too long today, probably. And we'll just have a comfy chat. But, yeah. It's a good day, indeed getting warmer after months of cold. Ah, that's nice. Last year, here wasn't cold, so I didn't expect. Oh, last year wasn't cold, huh? Interesting. What's up, Monkey-san? Ending soon. Oh, hello, Eduardo. I guess yes and no. Not ending soon per se. We actually just got started. Monkey apologizes for all the delays. Yeah, we just got started, but it will be a shorter stream today. So, just some light chatting until then. Hot limeade. Oh, wow, that sounds really good. Somehow I don't think I've ever tried that. Now that you mention it, it sounds like the kind of thing Monkey would really enjoy. Because Monkey really likes citrus drinks, and I like warm drinks, and I like warm citrus drinks like honey lemon, which I assume is kind of similar to a limeade, except instead of honey, maybe use sugar, and instead of lemon, you use lime. That sounds pretty good. Might be good for Monkey's under the weather feeling. I wonder where that term comes from, under the weather. It somehow feels appropriate though. Oh. Gymnopedy by Ryder Hype. Is that loud enough that you guys can hear it? I can't tell. It's pretty quiet on my end. Let's see. We're just beginning, Eduardo. It's true. In fairness, most monkeys are cute, sleepy, or otherwise. I guess monkeys can be pretty cute. I don't know about this one though. This one might be outside the normal curve. I'm talking about the cute sleepy monkey, silly. Where? I'm not sure I see this monkey that you're talking about. Bonjour, Madame Monkey. Hello, Remus. Welcome. How are you doing today? Proboscis monkeys are not cute in the most common sense of the word. I guess by human standards. I wonder if there are human cultures that really like big noses. I wouldn't be surprised. I find that human standards of beauty seem to vary a lot by culture and temporality. Like if you hop around to different places in times, it changes a lot. It's really interesting. I got Persona 5 yesterday. Oh! Let me rephrase that. This monkey is cute, sleepy, or otherwise. Oh dear. No. Wait, what monkey? What monkey are you talking about? I have no idea. That rider, enjoy. It's a trip. Rider, that's awesome. I still haven't had the chance to deep dive into Royal yet. Oh, definitely similar. Yes, I don't hear it. Oh, I think because it's a relatively quieter track, I've tried to sound balance it, but it doesn't quite get loud enough. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna put it back into the thing. The thing. I'm gonna put it back into the thing and see if I can pump up the volume a little. Let's see, we'll go to... Oops, sorry. Didn't know it would jump like that. We'll make it happen more slowly. Let me know if I make the music too loud though. I know Monkey's a little quiet today. I wonder if it used to mean literally dying of exposure. Oh, I just got watered down over time. Oh my goodness, that's kind of scary. I hope that's not the origin, but I suppose it's possible. I was thinking it feels like under the weather to Monkey feels like when the weather's kind of gray and you're kind of emulating that, you're feeling that. Here we go. Is that a little more audible? There we go. I like this track, so we gotta hear it, you know? I wonder if I can boost just this track. I've been trying to figure that out from the very beginning, but it's kind of hard. I'll just have to play with it, I guess. But yes, like if it's a gray and cloudy day and you kind of just feel like you're under that weather, you know? That's how Monkey feels. So I heard. Everyone praises it to high heavens. I had to give it a chance. I recommend the JP voice track. Oh, because dubs have burned me before. Okay. My guess is the music's a little too loud now. Let me turn it down for this next track. Let me know. Oops, that's way too loud. Sorry about that. Better? Is this better? Is this an appropriate volume? Well, interestingly, recently there are a couple of examples of dubs not being so bad. Well, actually, it's weird. There's a couple of examples recently of Japanese-produced media where the English version is actually not really a dub. I thought it was really interesting. First there was Cyberpunk, Edge Runners. I watched that. It was pretty good. I thought it was not bad. And I watched it in Japanese, but apparently the Japanese and English voices must have been written and designed together. And so actually, if you listen, it's a very interesting experience if you can kind of understand Japanese, but you can also read English. If you watch the Japanese voice cast with the English subtitles, because there's a lot that really doesn't come through in Japanese that has a lot more character and personality in the English language version. And I didn't go back and rewatch it in English, but I hear the English voice cast is quite good too. So it's this really interesting new form of media, it almost feels like, where it simultaneously has two original forms that are each tailored to a particular culture and language. It's really interesting. And then the other one that I learned about recently is that the most recent oh, this track is louder, huh? Let me know if it's too loud. I can turn it down. But the most recent Final Fantasy trailer or something like that? The most recent Final Fantasy 14, the MMO, the expansion, I guess? I don't know anything about this firsthand. I was just told by some of my monkey brethren. It was recorded. Well, at the very least, it was mocap for the English cast. I watched the trailer and you can see that it was clearly mocap for the English language cast, and it matches their voice actors' expressions and stuff, and so it actually feels quite solid, and a lot of the voice actors are quite good. I would say almost all of them I thought were quite good. And so it has this really cohesive sort of cinematic feel to it, the trailer. Felt like it could have been just a movie that you might see on TV with actual, like, human live-action actors. Except that it was animated. And then I rewatched it with the Japanese cast, and it did almost feel slightly off. Partially I think it's the lip flaps being off, but, you know, old anime was like that too. And so more than that, it was almost as if the gesture of the characters didn't quite fit with the Japanese voice casting. I don't know, there was something about it, and that made me think about the challenges of dubbing in the first place. Because what looks natural for one language and culture, you'll never quite get it to match another culture, especially if your basic grammars are different, right? One thing Monkey's been kind of struggling with, I've been trying to speak more Japanese so that it comes to me more easily, but it's kind of difficult. And one of the things that Monkey's realized is that my brain is wired for certain ways of thinking. Specifically, SVO, subject verb object order, in my sentences. So sometimes I get caught up in the sentence and I'm not sure how to end it, and I get kind of stuck. Or I end the sentence and then I'm like, whoops, wait, I want to change that ending, but I already ended it. And one of Moiki's siblings who is fluent native speaker of Japanese actually, let Monkey know that one of the things they noticed I was doing was that for Japanese people, the places where they pause in a sentence while they're trying to decide how to end their sentence is different from where Monkey pauses. The place where you're trying to decide, how am I gonna end this sentence? And everyone does it, right? Everyone starts talking without really knowing where their sentences are going quite yet. And sometimes you hold out certain words because you're trying to figure out how exactly you want to end the sentence, right? And they do that in Japanese, but in a different place than what comes naturally to Monkey. And so Monkey's gonna work on that. But it's really interesting because for explanation, Japanese is SOV, subject object verb, sometimes dropping the subject. And so Monkey usually has to think of a sentence. Usually if you're doing SVO, you think of the sentence order. Well, it's just a little different, I guess. Because you have to conjugate the verb based on, or the end of the sentence, let's say. You have to conjugate the end of the sentence in Japanese based on how you want to lead into your next sentence sometimes. Which is the same for English, but since it's conjugation, whereas in English it's more agglutinative, you just tack on words, you kind of have to think about where you want to go with the sentence before you finish your last word, which may be a verb a lot of the times. What is Monkey even talking about anymore? Let me go back and see what chat's saying. I think I've been talking about things too long. There was Tianshi beauty transcends time and space. No. Oh, you mean angels, right? Not this Tianshi. You mean Tianshi in general. Oh, that makes sense. The proboscis monkey loves its nose and doesn't care what anyone else thinks. Life goals. Makes sense to me, Mongoose. Sounds good. I was planning on JP voices from the start, don't worry. Might have to actually edit the music file for Jin no Pity. Oh, I'm using to play music. I use the, what is it called? Foobar 2000 player, and they do have a setting that specifically tries to balance the volume of tracks. I forget what it's called now. I think it's called like replay gain or something like that. But I never quite understood how it works, so I mostly just use the auto adjust replay gain. But it doesn't seem to be working very well recently, so I thought I might go in and adjust it by hand, assuming I can figure out how to make it actually happen. So, Monkey-san, what do you think about all these earthquakes going around? Have there been a lot more earthquakes recently? I guess Monkey didn't realize. Maybe use a program or something to increase the file volume. Yeah, I guess that's a possibility too. Just put it into a sound editor. That might be a more reliable permanent solution, huh? I don't want to distort anything, but raising the volume seems doable, huh? big demo kitty. Yeah. Loud music hype. I'm sorry. I can fix the track file for you if need be. I guess I goofed up. I apologize. Oh, no problem, no problem. No, I don't think you did anything wrong. I don't know how... I don't know how all this stuff works. Like, it sounds fine if I turn up the volume, but it's about equalizing across tracks, right? And that you couldn't have known because you don't know how loud my other tracks are. So I guess... I wonder, is there some sort of standardization? Maybe there is, but most music players seem to have an equalization option. Is equalization the right term even? Because I think equalization, come to think of it, is about levels of like high pitch versus low pitch sounds. I think I'm thinking about something else. That's not equalization, it's... I don't know what it's called. Something else. But no need to apologize. It's a beautiful track. And in some ways, the quietness feels appropriate. It's just that when I'm trying to balance the volumes for stream, I'm afraid some of my tracks are very loud. Some of my tracks are very loud, and I don't know. I've been bad at balancing the volume. There are quite a few dubs that I'd say outshine the original piece. Oh, really? I'd go to bat for Cowboy Bebop and Bakano. Ah, I'm also partial to Dragon Ball in EN, but that's just me. I see. I've heard the Cowboy Bebop one. Cowboy Bebop and also, Panty Stocking? These are both created with a very Western influence in mind, a very Western style in mind. And so I've heard that in both cases the creators have mentioned that they really like the English language version because it seems to fit more appropriately with their setting and the image they were trying to portray, right? And depending on the creator, they may or may not be fluent in English. I know Trigger has some people who are pretty good English speakers, but sometimes it's more about the feeling than whether or not the voice acting is, exactly something that would resonate with native speakers. I don't know. I've never watched either of these in the English language version yet, so I really can't say. But I think that it's cool that even taking into account, I'm not sure whether or not the English voice acting is something that I enjoy, because I haven't watched it. I think it's really cool that the creators feel that it fits the vibe, it fits the mood. Which is a cool thing. I don't know Bakano though. I've heard the name a lot, but I actually don't know anything beyond the name. And Dragon Ball also, I know very little about. Monkey never actually watched. Can you believe? Monkey is a failure of a Sun Wukong fan monkey. I actually didn't know somehow until much later that the main character of Dragon Ball is supposed to be based on Sun Wukong. I just never watched it. I don't know, it never drew me in for whatever reason. So I don't know if I would like it or not. Rebecca is the highlight of that show for me. Loved her. Becca's the little one, right? I liked her a lot. She was also probably my favorite character. apparently, because they were working closely with, I think an American studio? No, with the game creator. The game creator... I can't remember where the game creator is from. But they were working with the game creator who's from more Western European culture heritage, I think? Apparently, the studio requested that they get rid of Rebecca because they didn't like that she was so small, and Trigger refused. And I think that was the right choice because in Monkey's opinion, that's discrimination against small people. Monkey's pretty small. I think small people should be represented in media too, right? And I can see why they refused too, because honestly, she really was maybe the best character, maybe, depending on your personal preferences, but I thought she was a really good character at the very least. She had a surprising amount of depth to her. Persona 5 though didn't seem bad. I watched a comparison video, but they are in Japan and it's a Japanese game with Japanese characters. All is pointing to the same place. Makes sense, makes sense. Also made by Japanese people. There's a lot of media out there that takes place in Japan with Japanese characters but is created by non-Japanese people. And in that case, I think, you know, the non-Japanese version is probably good. So it does make me wonder, come to think of it, about the Japanese stuff. You know, the funny thing is, if you read Okushifudo, Way of the House Husband, great manga, great comedy manga. There was a chapter which I recently reread. Just I was feeling like reading some more, and so I just reread some old chapters. That reminded me of one of the gags involves the characters debating over whether to watch something subbed or dubbed. And Monkey felt, good to know that this is a debate that is the same everywhere. The Resident Evil series 2 has the English voices as co-original now. Oh wow, interesting, isn't it, how that happens? There was an anime too that was based on a Korean manhwa, I think. That was called Tower of God, I think. And since it was a Korean manhwa, they kind of, it's interesting. They made some interesting choices. For example, in the Japanese version, they translated the names, but in the English subtitles, they kept the Korean pronunciation of the names. And I think though that the original voice cast for it was Japanese because it was made by the anime was made by a Japanese studio. I wonder if they have a Korean dub and whether the Korean dub was made at the same time or not. Something from Japan I don't care for, is the voice actor recognition game. Oh, it has spread. If I'm watching a playthrough and they stop to argue who is voicing a part, my brain is all get on with it. Oh, interesting. You don't like to know who the voice actor is? I guess that makes sense. Because in some ways, part of the charm of acting in general is being able to separate the actor from the character, right? And that allows you to really see the character as the character, right? But I do find that sometimes really good voice actors or actors in general, they can make you forget that it's them. But it's hard once they're famous, right? Once you know them a little bit better. Sometimes it's hard to stop seeing them as themselves, or hard to stop seeing them as the other characters they portray. At the same time, I do think it's nice to give recognition to the people doing the work, right? They may not be face characters, but they can be very talented. The question, I suppose, then is, do they want the recognition? And that is a little bit harder. You never know, right? You never know what someone personally wants unless you know them personally. And even then, they have to tell you. But there's some anime that Monkey watched recently where the voice acting is so good. Monkey couldn't help but try to look up the voice actors and say, like, who did this? What have they done before? How are they so good? There's been a lot of good voice acting this season too. I think maybe there's a lot of just really good anime out this season. Monkey's never been good about keeping track of creators though, to be honest. I feel I should be better at it, but Monkey, even face actors, Monkey has a hard time keeping track of who's who, and Monkey's always been bad about keeping track of authors and music artists and that sort of thing. So I guess I'm not one to talk, but yeah, I don't know. Sleepy Monkey just rambling now, I guess. POV, Monkey gets sidetracked by linguistics. Yes, this does happen, doesn't it? Sounds like Monkey. Maybe one of these days I should actually study linguistics. So there's something behind what I'm saying. Rather than just monkey thoughts. It's monkey things. Oh boy, Monkey is tired. Tianshi is angelic. You heard it from them first. No. Tianshi roughly translates to angel and is used in that context at times. But there's a difference between 天使 and 天使闹 It's different. Monkey is that meme of the guy with the whiteboard behind him full of lines and pictures, and he's talking about all of it. Much love, Tianshi. What is this meme? I don't know it actually. What does it mean? What? Memes are a little bit like idioms, right? Like sometimes you don't really know what they mean until it's explained to you. And sometimes the meaning can change too. Don't know the cultural context around this. But if you say so, Ryder, I believe you. Sorry about that. Bless you, kitty. Kitty smooths. On the subject of multiple languages, it occurs to me that Tekken is fun in that regard. Oh? As I recall, all of the characters speak their home language. Ah, that's cool. Excuse me. That's really cool. But how do they understand each other? Well, I imagine it's like the future in Star Trek with the Universal Translator. Does Star Trek have the Universal Translator? A lot of sci-fi does. I can't remember anymore if Star Trek has it. Universal Translator. Or everyone is actually a polyglot and therefore speaks in the language they are most comfortable with as their native tongue, but understands everyone else. That happens sometimes. I don't know if y'all have seen this. If you live in places that are pretty multilingual, sometimes you'll witness people talking to each other and they're speaking different languages as they're talking to each other because they both understand each other's language but have an easier time speaking different languages. And so you'll see conversations that happen in two different languages. It's kind of fun. But of course, it depends on the culture and what people are comfortable with. Sometimes people think it's better to switch to a single language. But you know, I've noticed that Overwatch is a little bit like that too, since Overwatch has a lot of different cultures represented. One thing that Monkey found super hilarious is that there's a new Overwatch character, right? She's kind of based on Kitsune and Miko, foxes and Japanese shrine maidens, as far as Monkey can tell. And one thing that Monkey found really amusing about her character is that when she's speaking English, she speaks Japanese with a very heavy American English accent, I think it was, if Monkey remembers correctly. Sometimes Monkey doesn't remember accents properly because I hear the words, not the sounds. I think it's an American English. It might have been a British English, but I think it was American English accent that she speaks with when she's speaking in English, even when she says Japanese words. Because occasionally she'll say some Japanese words while she's speaking English. However, when she's speaking purely Japanese voice lines, it transitions to this hyper-native sounding Japanese. Even the cadence to Monkey's ear sounds native. Which I thought was hilarious. I'm not sure. It leads me to believe that perhaps they have separate voice actors for the English language lines and the Japanese language lines. I'm not sure if this is the case. I don't know if Overwatch does things that way or not, and I didn't look it up. But I started to get that feeling that maybe they found two voice actors with very similar timbre to their voice. And put them together that way. It's not uncommon, for example, with characters, who need to sing or stuff. Sometimes they do that too. They pick someone who can sing, who has a similar timbre voice to the main speaking actor. Not in games, I guess. I mean, I feel like I've seen it in media before. Maybe it is rare, I don't know. But it made me think that that might be the case. However, it is not unheard of. Monkey also personally knows people who have native level fluency in two languages. They're bilingual. And when they speak one language, say English, they will adopt the English pronunciations of the words of the other language, just because it flows better, I suppose, and also it's more understandable when you're talking to an English audience if you adopt an English accent for those words sometimes. And so actually it wouldn't be too surprising to Monkey either if actually this voice actor that they found has native level speaking ability at both English and Japanese, and that's what's going on here. It's a little hard to tell. That's very true. It's wacky but kind of fun, but that's how it works. I guess in the world of Tekken, everyone is an incredible polyglot. Yeah. Not just 2 languages, 3 languages, 5 languages, but like all the languages. Well, I don't know how many languages are represented in Tekken, but Maybe it's that kind of world. That would be kind of cool. I know of regions where being a triglot, having 3 languages that you are fluent at, is not uncommon and tends to be the norm. But I don't know if I've heard of places where it gets much higher than that. That being said, it just may not be well studied either. I know there are regions of Africa, for example, where people know many languages because they need to know their own local language, and then they need to know their regional language, and then they need to know like the official legal language, and then they have to know something like English or French or Portuguese based on the colonial history language. So maybe around there it's not uncommon because some people might also then need to learn the local languages of their neighbors, because even though they could just speak in the regional language, it's a lot more ingratiating if you speak to someone in their own language, right? They speak with their hands, I guess, Mama. They speak with their fists, perhaps. It's a fighting game, right? It's funnier when you consider the animal characters like Panda. Oh, they just roar and are still understood by humans. Wow, that's a lot of languages to learn. They learn panda languages too. Oh, これは何ですか? Oh, that's fine. I see. I wish I could speak panda. I like pandas a lot. They're very cute. I only ever saw one episode of Bebop. Thought posing as a pregnant woman and ordering a Bloody Mary was pretty poor cover story. You know, I think that's the point though. I think that's the point, Mongoose. Monkey also on the first episode was a little bit like, I don't know. Sometimes it does take a few episodes to really get the vibe of a story done. And Cowboy Bebop changes tone very frequently. Like what they tend to do is they tend to pendulate back and forth between serious and silly episodes, and to build character over time, but in indirect ways. I only recently finished Cowboy Bebop. I started it a couple of times and didn't get very far. I got as far as meeting, what's his name? The doggo. I got as far as meeting the doggo a couple times. But I wasn't really sure, so I didn't keep going. But finally I did keep going. And, it's pretty good actually. It's a lot of fun in the fun episodes. And some of the more serious episodes, they do kind of make you think. And sometimes they make you feel. It was very nicely done, I think. I think it's worth getting past the first few episodes before judging. It's one of those kinds. Some anime, they hook you right away. And some anime, you know right away, this isn't my thing. But some anime, and I guess some media in general, you just gotta get past a certain point, and then you really understand what it's about. Eva was like that for me, except that Eva, you have to get past the midpoint, which is a long ways to get past. You really have to have that friend or sibling hanging over your shoulder being like, don't worry, it gets good, you just have to wait. You really have to believe them. But sometimes when you let that happen, it goes back and it recontextualizes everything before a little bit, and then you're like, okay, it was worth the wait. Waki-san, do you have any husbando or anime husbando? You know, Monkey's never really been into waifu husbando culture. Monkey never really felt that way about any particular particular characters, even though I think it's kind of an amusing and fun part of the culture. So sometimes I think it's a fun part of the culture. So sometimes I joke about it, I guess. But if I were to say for real, if I had any character like that, not very strongly, I think. You know, I have favorite characters from various media, but nothing that I really strongly, hold on to, I guess? I'll have to think about it. Akano is very much an Americana-influenced show. Aha! Even set in 1930s USA? Oh, the train heist that goes off the rails, for lack of a better word. Oh, I see. Then that makes a lot of sense. Oh. Do they do the old-style accents as well? Because that would be fun. Roaring 20s, I think. Ah, that would make sense. It's a popular temporal setting. I wrote Saturn professionally write all synopses for all anime. This is a pretty good synopsis, it's true. I mean, Shatter is really good with words. Shatter wasn't a jester. I suppose I could see Shatter as a writer of some sort. Both require being good with words, I guess. Speaking of which, NaNoWriMo is coming up soon. Come to think of it, Halloween's coming up soon. Monkey's been so busy I haven't had time to really think about it. I think you're right, Moongoose. 20 sounds more accurate. Gotta love the guts of an explosion victim keeping spare cherry bombs in her eyesop. Let's try not to give too many telling spoilers in case there's people around who haven't watched it, I guess. Though I guess I don't remember if those are very strong spoilers. Monkey has a bad memory, to be perfectly honest. And it's just the first episode, so you know what? Maybe it's fine. Oh, Monkey just sleepy. Maybe the classic Dragon Ball. Wow, I'm very behind, aren't I? Monkey will try to catch up and take fewer tangents because, as it is a short stream today, we might actually have to close up soon. Especially Monkey's feeling pretty fatigued. So it's probably best if we don't go for too long. But yeah, unfortunately. But I'll try to catch up first at least. Where was I? Maybe the classic Dragon Ball. It has most inspirations from Journey to the West, or whatever it's called. Yeah, that's correct. Journey to the West. In English. In Chinese, it's 西游记. Travelogue of the Journey to the West. Something like that. Though it may bug some people, it's an old show and the jokes are old. You know, they're pervs. Oh yeah, that was really popular back in old anime. I think I learned that it was maybe Cutie Honey or something like that that really turned it up to 11. There was I don't know, but that author is very influential. When I look to cartoons and animes, the characters are always middle of the road. I don't remember seeing much tall protagonists as well. When a character is tall, they tend to be exaggeratedly big. I think for anime, there actually are quite a few tall characters. But the thing is, if you're in an anime where there are tall characters, oftentimes everyone is tall. It's really interesting, actually. Especially a lot of, what's it called? I found that a lot of shoujo, I think it is, has really tall characters. I think that's because it's the fashion. And so you don't know, because they just say that they're tall in like their character profiles. Like you look at them and they're like, I don't know, 178 centimeters or something like that, and you go, what? How are you so tall? Why are you so tall? Yeah, I don't know. At least the monkey that seems tall. I don't know. Taller than average, right? I don't remember. Monkey's not good with numbers either. I might be saying something completely nonsensical. Monkey can never remember numbers. Tian, have you ever watched a certain scientific railgun? Oh, I might be off the mark, but something tells me you'd absolutely love it. Oh, you know, I have not. One of my siblings, whose taste I kind of understand, and we do overlap. She watched it and said she enjoyed it, I think. So maybe I would enjoy it. I guess I just keep... I've heard of it, but I keep kind of passing over it because the name sounds like it's gonna be some sort of action focus. Some sort of fantasy action focus, which maybe it has, but in... how you say? That doesn't mean that it's not necessarily something I'm gonna like. It's just the focus. I liked Licorice Recoil I just finished watching. I like that, even though it's kind of actiony, because it's very character driven actually. And Demon Slayer, even though it's very actiony, stereotypical shonen, I really liked the first season because it was a lot more character driven. And the second season I noticed I wasn't as into, even though my siblings, who like shonen, were super hype about it. And I realized that it's partially because it became more action focused, which is the part that Monkey's not into. But once it turned again towards the characters, Monkey suddenly liked it again. So depending on the balance of these things, I can see Monkey liking even something like that. But also, I don't know anything... I don't know anything about a certain scientific railgun other than the title, which can be very misleading, so... Maybe I should look into it. The answer is, learn Japanese and watch it raw. You know, that's starting to be Monkey's goal. I've started to decide maybe there's some children's anime that Monkey can watch without subtitles, just to get that practice in. Oh, on the subject of different name pronunciations. Have you heard of Thunderbolt Fantasy now? I have not. What is Thunderbolt Fantasy? It reminds me of my dad watching movies. He keeps calling characters by the actor name or what other films they were in, and ruins the flow. Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. I think evaluating performance is best done at the end. Oh, I see. Monkey can be... Monkey can be a bit of an annoying person to watch things with, because I love to comment throughout, but only if I know other people are okay with it. Otherwise, I will quiet down. But I know sometimes it gets a little frustrating even if people are okay with it, because every time Monkey wants to comment, I can't watch and comment at the same time if it's sub. If it's in a language I don't know, because I can't read and talk at the same time. And so I've developed a habit of like pausing all the time when watching things. Luckily, most of Monkey's siblings are okay with this. did it once for you. I put stuff relating to you on the whiteboard. Oh! Oh, is that the one? The conspiracy one? I wasn't sure which one you were talking about. Now I get it, Ryder. I think so. I think I understand. Is that Monkey? Monkey is conspiracy theorist. But it is a kind of angel? Or any kind of angel. Because, for example, the Japanese ogres are pretty different than the Christian concept of a demon. So, the thing about Tianshi and Tenshi, which is the same characters actually, Japan just used the Chinese translation for it, is so one-to-one, Tianshi means heavenly messenger. And this already gets into cultural translation problems because Tian, heaven, is different in English and in Chinese, and so the meaning is already different. There are some overlaps, which is why they get translated as the same thing, but they're already different starting from there. And then Tianshi has been kind of used already as a generic term based on Chinese culture concept of heaven and just literally messenger, not in a special like job position way per se, but in the same way that you might just say, you know, it's a messenger from some place or other, you know? And so while it wasn't like an exalted word, it was a word that was used, that existed, a compound word that existed already. But when the concept of the Western angel got brought over and needed a name, it was assigned to this name because their primary function, as far as Monkey understands, the Abrahamic angels at least, their primary function is to be messengers from Western or Abrahamic. I guess I shouldn't say Western because I don't know all Western. There's a lot of Western culture mythologies, I guess, but the Western concept or the Abrahamic concept of heaven, and then a messenger from there, right? And so that, because it became the word that's used to translate angel, it strongly became associated with that sort of iconography and specifically that sort of heavenly messenger. And so while in the past it did not necessarily refer specifically to Abrahamic styled angels, nowadays it more or less has become that term. You know, once you name something, that name gains a new significance, something different from before, right? Like a mailman, for example, before it became the name of a thing, it's just, you know, man who delivers mail. But now mailman is its own word and doesn't necessarily even refer to men, right? Anyone can be a mailman. And so it's kind of like that. It's like now when you hear the word, it generally means, and you would generally assume it means, someone styled after the Abrahamic style of angel. Not necessarily an Abrahamic style of angel, because that has also, in its own culture and then crossing cultures, kind of taken on its own meanings and new ideas. But generally, at least loosely based on that. So I would say kind of like how, like you said, ogre, the word ogre was applied to certain Japanese demons. Even the word demon was applied to certain Japanese yokai, basically. They're not really the same when you get down to it. It's just a convenient translation. You You can think of it like how a lot of food gets translated too, right? Like dumplings. East Asian dumplings are absolutely nothing like European dumplings, except that they're often put inside of soup. They're kind of noodly and put inside of soup. So there's that surface level connection, but not always the same. That being said, once the culture gets adopted, then when you say dumplings in English now, because the word got adopted for that, you might think of Chinese dumplings, for example. You might even think of gyoza, fried dumplings. And it's interesting because they come from disparate cultures, but they start to inform each other over time. But sometimes they're the same, sometimes they're different. It's not an easy black and white answer, I guess. It really depends. What language does the bear speak? Good question. The bear speaks Mishima, I guess. Mishima? Is that the bear's name? What about King? That's the wrong name. I mean the leopard guy. Oh, does he speak leopard? I find British English cute. I really like it though. There are a lot of fun accents out there. Monkey finds it interesting that humans tend to ascribe a lot of things to various accents that have absolutely nothing to do with the sounds themselves and more to do with perceptions of the culture of origin. It's very interesting, but I don't know. That's all, I guess. But at the same time, sometimes I guess it can be the sounds. I don't know. King is the leopard, yes. Oh, in fairness, he mostly roars and growls while fighting, but that might just be his in-ring gimmick. I regret to inform you that it's not. Oh, he always speaks that way, even in cinematics with others. Oh, despite just being a human with a mask. Oh, that's just how he talks. Devotion to his character, even outside the pro wrestling ring. It is a little like pro wrestling, isn't it? Jack Skellington from The Nightmare Before Christmas. Oops. Oh, is voiced by the film's music composer whenever he sings. Really? Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's interesting, actually. Because doesn't he sometimes, like in sort of a musical theater fashion, kind of move from speaking to singing? But he doesn't speak the lines? It's not the same voice actor? Really interesting. Maybe just the ones where he's singing then, huh? I never noticed that, actually, that his voice changes. Well, I haven't watched it very much. I know some people watch that movie all the time. It's like a classic. Yeah, in some areas, they do speak Portuguese. I saw once a YouTuber from Angola collab with one from Brazil. Ah, interesting. Ein, that's right. Ein, that's the doggo. It's a very good doggo. Ein is probably best character from Cowboy Bebop. Very good. Very good one. The super corgi's name is Ein. Thank you. Oh, hello. Kylie Mo? Welcome. Sorry, I'm kind of behind as usual on chat, so I just saw your message, but welcome. My first experience with Cowboy Bebop was Perrault Le Fou. Quite the interesting introduction. Yeah, that's a little scary. A little scary. It's a good episode though, I suppose. Japan, USA, Philippines, Spain, Monaco, Australia, Brazil, China, Russia, Mexico, South Korea, Italy, UK, Sweden, Saudi Arabia, Ireland, Thailand, Poland, Germany. Languages of Tekken. Oh, interesting, interesting. Well, these are all countries, right? But not all of these countries speak a single language. And many of them speak multiple dialects, even if they do speak a single language. Oh, interesting, interesting. You didn't ask, but I thought it'd be interesting to see how diverse it really is. Oh yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, actually. Halloween kind of snuck up on me as well. Mine does have a tendency to do that. Yeah, me too. Waiting patiently for now to return to the present. Thank you, Ahinki. Thank you. I seem to be gaining. I'm still behind, but I seem to be gaining. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just wishful thinking. Now, hello. Slept too long, but glad I caught you. Oh, hello, Best Squid. Hello. I hope that you enjoyed sleeping in, though. That's always nice. Well, Monkey is far up in chat. I'm sorry. This is what happens when Monkey is sleepy, I suppose. Just randomly talking. No, that's not true. That's just Monkey. Maybe that's just Monkey. Here I am trying to say I need to catch up too. I do need to end sooner rather than later. The film definitely has fantasy action. The focus, however, is slice of life cuteness with a side of drama. The characters are so light, it's very cozy. The only downside is that it's connected to another. Oh, I see. You know, in that case, that does sound right up Monkey's alley. I might have to check that out. I like action, but I don't like exclusively action. I enjoy a good character and the relationships, as well as the story and world building. It's not necessarily that Monkey doesn't like action. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's just that it doesn't appeal to Monkey in particular, and so I guess I end up finding it kind of boring. And the reason it doesn't appeal to Monkey is not any sort of opinion type thing. It's just literally that Monkey is a slow monkey, as you know. And there are certain things that just don't click with Monkey's brain. And so even if Monkey's watching a really well animated, really well thought out, really cool action scene, Monkey's brain just doesn't get it. Monkey's brain just goes, okay, some sort of action is happening now. And I think this character is winning, maybe. Monkey's brain just can't appreciate the details of action sequences. I just don't really... My brain can't keep up, maybe? I'm not sure. And so, I just end up not appreciating them, even when they're really well done. And I guess since I don't appreciate them, I don't find it very entertaining, I guess. Not that they aren't entertaining, just not to Monkey. So, Railgun and Index are in the same universe, but different protagonists and focuses. Ah, I was wondering about that. It's a whole thing. I'm realizing this isn't the place to discuss something so complex. Well, you know, I wouldn't mind normally, but I guess since Monkey's tired and has to end soon, well, we can table this discussion for next time, hopefully? Are they different, do they have different feels? Or if you like one, are you likely to like the other? I can send more detailed synopsis on Discord if you're really interested. Otherwise, you can do your own research on the matter. I just thought you'd enjoy it, if you enjoy Slice of Life. I do like Slice of Life. I would say I appreciate the offer for a more detailed synopsis. However, Monkey's been so busy recently, it's unlikely that I'll have time to really read through it. And I don't want to make you go to all that trouble if Monkey's not even gonna be able to read it. But I think you've piqued Monkey's interest enough that I don't know if I would do more research, but it might bump itself up in the queue when Monkey's looking for something to watch, maybe I'll just give it a try, you know? Thunderbolt Fantasy is a Taiwanese-Japanese co-production using Taiwanese Udaishi. Ah, that's the puppet one, isn't it? Ah, I have heard of it, I have! It's pretty cool. I think there was even... I remember being in... was it the Taiwan airport? Might have had a display on about it. Characters' names are pronounced in Japanese, but translated in Mandarin. So... this one, Shou Fu Kang and Shang Fu Han. Ah! Oh, I see! Interesting. TLDR, Thunderbolt Fantasy is my favorite puppet show. Wuxia is great. You know, Shatter. In some ways, I am not surprised that you like Wuxia. What are the tones of that? Let me make sure if I'm gonna say these words, I actually know what the tones are. I'm not telling you all weird things. Wuxia. Wuxia, I think, is just summer... Sorry, it's just martial arts. Oh, it's not summer. Wuxia. There we go. Wuxia is probably how you pronounce it. It's a Chinese martial arts style media. But it has developed its own genre in a way. In some ways, it makes sense that you would like it, because in some ways, I guess it almost reminds me of tokusatsu. Wuxia? Okay. Gotta try and remember that. To be fair, gods is probably the same thing. I don't think deities from all around the world work the same way, yet we call all of them gods. Yeah, exactly. Like we translate kami as gods, but they're kami, they're different. And in China, there's actually many different types of humanoid beings with special powers, and also non-humanoid. There's a lot of classes. There are some that are translated as gods, but others are translated as immortals or sages and stuff like that, because there's a lot of variety actually. So the term god was just applied to like one class, but even that class is difficult to define. Just the most powerful ones, I guess. And even in the West, like Greek gods are very different, right? It's very interesting. Dumpling lore. Dumpling lore. Yeah. Mishima is the family that adopted the bear. Ah! His name is Kuma. His name is Kuma. Interesting. And I am Monkey. And one of the main characters, Heihachi Mishima, taught him karate. Ah! That's all fair. I enjoyed Railgun quite a bit. Two characters in it are incredible whenever they are on screen. I am not enjoying index side of things as much though. I've not yet finished though. Oh, interesting. So they're pretty different. It reminds me then a little bit of this one I just finished, Rico, Licorice Recoil. It kind of has an action premise, but it's very character focused. Index focuses on magic and Railgun on science. It's a closed-off city 30 years ahead of everyone else, where both magic and science coexist. Railgun is a lot more relaxed. Ah, that does sound like right up Monkey's alley. Monkey likes those kinds of premises too. It feels like going out on adventures with a bunch of girlfriends. Oh, I'd say watch Railgun Season 1 to start off with, and if you find it enjoyable, you can then study up on what you need to continue, or come ask me. Oh, is it complicated? I'll gladly guide you along further. Oh, I see. I apologize for picking up the whole chat with this. No problem, Ryder. I appreciate the recommendation. Speaking of reading/watching, have you heard of Dungeon Meshi? It's getting an anime by Trigger, but I highly recommend the manga. I have not heard of it. I've heard of and kind of watched bits and pieces of various isekai that have a food focus. There's a lot of them out there actually, but I have not heard of this one that Trigger's gonna animate. That sounds really interesting. If Trigger's gonna do it, I expect it'll be a little different. That's exciting. I'll keep an eye out for the anime, and also maybe I'll take a look at the manga. I do like manga. The English word God, I understand, didn't originally refer to the most powerful class of them. The most powerful were the Aesir, then the Vanir, then the gods. Ah, so it's a word of sort of Norse origin? It's from the Norse Germanic origin? Because Aesir and Vanir, I believe, are still used when referring to various Norse deities, right? That makes sense. I recently learned... What word was it? Bat. The word bat? I was wondering where it came from because it sounds Germanic, but in German it's called something like Fluxat, like a flying rat. I know I got that wrong. In fact, Ryder's here. Ryder knows German. Ryder can correct me. But in German, it's a flying rat. And so I wondered where bat came from, because it's clearly of Germanic origin. And apparently it does come from sort of Old Norse forms of Germanic. But it's even now it's a different word. I don't know how it became this, but they somehow believe that's the origin. Dungeon Meshi is getting an anime. Exciting times. Oh! Watch order is basically the only thing people debate over, but I highly recommend Railgun Season 1 to start off with personally. It's a prequel to the index side of things and gives a lot of context. Yeah, if it's the one you think I'll probably enjoy the most from a genre perspective too, I think that's a reasonable place to start. Foreign gods were relegated to the lesser category because they couldn't be considered the equals of the native deities. Ah, that makes a lot of sense. That makes so much sense. That makes sense because that seems to be the way that it was done. I believe across Africa as well, is what I've heard, is that your local gods were considered better than the other gods. So, you know, you might... I don't know if they called them something different, but... Fledermaus? Ah, see, that makes more sense. Monkey just putting together random words here. Flick, I took from Flickzeug, like, fly thing, which means airplane. And then rat just sounded like, you know... That also sounds Germanic, right? Rat. But it's mouse. I should have known that. I knew mouse, actually. And Fleder I didn't know, but... Fledermaus I have heard. It's a very cute name. Monkey likes bats. Put on the spot. Sorry, Ryder, I didn't mean to call you out. I just remembered that you spoke German, so I figured if I said something ridiculous, you would call me out on it anyway. Ah, potato. Oh, thank you for the potato. Oh, I've caught up to chat. And my goodness, I've already streamed a bit longer than I was intending to. A bit later than I was intending to. So, I'm sorry to say this. I feel so bad every time. I'm sorry to say this, but I think it might be about time for Monkey to sign off and... Well, I was thinking I might get to some more monkey business, but honestly, maybe Monkey will just take a nap. Sleepy Monkey today. Monkey caught up in the end. I did, Hinky. Are you proud of me? A gift for now, reaching the present. Thank you, Shatter. The present. I was glad to catch your stream today. Thank you, Hemoglobin. I was glad you were here too. Welcome to the present, or should I say, the now. Oh! Well, thank you, Remus. Thank you, and thank you for coming. It's okay now. I'm glad you got here in the first place. The talks were fun. I'm glad I got here too. I was almost afraid I wouldn't make it today, but I did. I made it. A present for being in the present. Exactly. Thanks for the stream. It was fun. Be well now. See you next time. Thank you, Ryder. I'm so glad you've been able to make it more often these days. Thank you for the potatoes. Thank you. And I'll see you soon. Pauses for effect. Oh? Hashtag love teach. Ryder! Oh dear. Thank you, though. I do appreciate it. Thank you. Oh dear. Thank you for the stream. Hashtag love teach. Thank you, Remus. Oh dear. You contributing to this now too. But thank you. Thank you for the stream now. Sending lots of energy, hoping you feel better soon. Thank you, Shatter. Hashtag love teach. Just your heart monkey. Thank you, Shatter. Thank you. Ah, potatoes. And a sweet potato snuck in too. Thank you, Hinky. Thank you. Quick, shower her with love before the entry. Oh dear. You're dangerous, Hinky. You're dangerous. One day, we'll get hashtag love tears trending. Believe it. No. Oh no. That will be the day Monkey dies. Luckily, I have one degree of immortality, so hopefully it should be fine. Oh dear. Monkey, you drunk? Go home? No. Maybe tea drunk. Maybe tea club drunk. But I do think it is time to go home to rest. Thank you for coming, Edward. Alright. I guess it is now time for Monkey to say, with this meeting of the Tianshi Club is now officially adjourned. Thank you all so much for coming. I wanted to stream today because I figured even though Monkey's feeling a bit under the weather and a bit tired and doesn't have much energy, talking to all of you always picks me up. Gives me that little extra boost of energy and positive feelings. So thank you so much for coming today, and I will see you again soon. Rest well. Thank you, Best Squid. You have a great rest of your day. Let me tuck you into bed. Bed sounds pretty good. Oh, get well soon. Oh, thank you, Best Squid. Thanks for the stream. Bye, Best Squid. Oh, hearts. Thank you, Remus. Thank you. Alright. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll see you soon. Bye now. Thanks for the chats and being the amazing person you are. Hashtag love tears. You too, Hinky. Oh dear. Thank you so much. It was great chatting with you. It's always great to have you. No, you're wonderful. You're all wonderful. Alright, I gotta go. I better run. Go home, Monkey. Okay, sounds good. Bye, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you soon. Just learned the no you technique, gasp. I learned from the best. Bye, Shatter. And bye, everyone. Thank you all again so much.